Hello, twisted humans.
Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting?
Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alecia.
And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast. This is episode 211, and I have that conspiracy that I've been promising you guys. But before we get to speculate wildly, Sierra, do you have a fun fact for me?
I do have a fun fact. My fun fact is that horses are more than 1 horsepower.
Love it.
Very interesting, in my opinion. Let me see.
You would think.
I've touched a lot of buttons since finding it. There we go. Okay, so horsepower is a unit of power that measures the rate at which work is done, with 1 horsepower historically defined as the power needed to lift 550 pounds 1 foot in 1 second. But it was averaged like over a day. So as a horse continued to work continuously for 1 full day, how long it would take that horse to do that thing was 1 horsepower. Okay. However, 1 horse, when you're not averaging through the whole entire day, because they get fucking tired eventually, if it's just he's ready to work, horses are like 14 horsepower. Okay. They just eventually get tired and sluggish. Bonus fun fact, even more funner. That's not a word. Even more fun is that horses basically coined the term synergy with their horsepower. Horses work better together. So 2 horses can do as much horsepower as at least 3 horses when they're working together. So 1 horsepower plus 1 horsepower does not equal 2 horsepower if 1 and 2 are like buds, okay? They work on the power of friendship. They are better together.
And if you're not watching this on YouTube, you need to be, because Sierra explaining that to me was, 1, just so cute, and 2, who knew? Also, don't measure horses on a day when they're tired. That's just mean.
Well, they averaged it all from 1 day. Like, in the morning time, they were ready to go. At nighttime, they were like, I've been working all fucking day.
So it lands somewhere in the middle. That's not giving them their best, oomph.
Yeah.
They
also,
deserve
better together. Be friends, everybody.
I love that. That's very cute. Better together means that you can run away with your horses and buggy when the Hammersmith ghost sneaks up on you, and you can leave all your passengers.
I don't know if that's what that means. Do not leave all your passengers. You're better together.
I mean, the horses said fuck that in that situation.
Yeah.
I was just watching a clip of that. That's what made me think of it. That, and like, when else do you get to see horses working together anymore other than a horse and buggy? In real life examples.
What's your fun fact?
My fun fact is that Venus has snow, but it's made of metal.
Can it be
At the
called
mountain
snow?
peaks of Venus, intense temperatures and atmospheric pressure cause metallic compounds like galena, meaning lead sulfide, and bismuthinite, nailed it, to vaporize, rise, and then condense back down as metallic snow. But it's not the white fluffy snow that we know. It's actually very toxic, reflective frost made of heavy metals, much like things falling from the sky. Hint, hint. Would you like to react to that before I continue?
Yeah, galena is a beautiful word. How dare it mean something so... I don't even know what that was.
No, it just means lead. It means lead
galena
sulfide. It's just the compound.
Listen, all I know is that lead is dangerous and sulfide sounds like sulfur, which is stinky. So danger and stink create a beautiful word. Also, I just got an update on my phone that there are new items in the Jonas Brothers shop, including one of them that is a t-shirt that just says red dress with a bunch of different poses of Nick Jonas. And I want it so bad.
I would just like to point out that I was the original one to make a shirt that said red dress, everybody, but that one's way better. That is awesome. We should buy it. I think we should buy it. I'm putting it out there for us. I like
Yeah,
that
you
you had to
wanna
interrupt that for the Jonas Brothers, and how
pre-order
fitting,
only.
Sierra, because today is Nick Jonas's birthday that we were
It
recording this. So
is.
how fitting that a red dress t-shirt should come out. Red dress! So, I don't know how to follow that. Also, I would like to address something from last week's episode because
Oh,
one of
yeah.
you was going to point it out to me either way. So, there was a mysterious banging that neither of us heard during the recording while I was editing it. And the whole time I'm like, what is that? Is she kicking her desk? Like, what is happening underneath there? At no point do either of us address it. So if in the middle of Sierra's speaking, you hear, we don't know where it came from, we don't know the source, and we cannot be held responsible for it, and we are sorry.
There
That's
are
what I
ghosts
would
in
like to
this
say.
house.
Who's shocked, though? Did you really think you were going to leave the ghost behind in your library?
Oh, this is definitely a different one, but yeah.
No, I'm not suggesting that it followed you, which hopefully not. But what's been happening? Because we did not talk about it at the end of my haunted episode, which was the original one.
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of stuff. The garage light gets turned on randomly. Jesse freaks out. He's like, oh my God, people stop going in my garage. And I'm like, babe, like, nobody's going in your garage. Okay, I promise. And then Sissy was dropped off at her friend's house one day. I dropped her off at her friend's house and then straight to, I might have said this already, straight to dropping Bubba off at his friend's house. Sissy texted me like, why are you in my room? And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, I just drove by the
Yeah,
house and I
that
saw
one
you
you
in my
did
room.
tell me, but not on the show, I don't think.
Yeah, I was not home. And she was like, oh, I thought I saw you in my room. I saw the curtains moving and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, no, not there. And then the other day, I was on the phone with my dad in the kitchen, which I know none of you know what my house looks like, but my house is long and it's, you know, like a ranch style. And the kitchen is on one end of the house. And at the very opposite end of the house is Sissy's room. And I was in the kitchen on the phone with my dad on speaker. And, you know, he was talking, blah, 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 saying stuff. And I heard the Alexa in Sissy's room say, good afternoon, Sissy. Da, 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 da. And I didn't hear the rest of what it said. It didn't say Sissy, it said her name, but I didn't hear the rest of what it said because I was talking to my dad and he was still talking. But I was like, why did Alexa just say Sissy's name way in there? Like, who's in there talking to her Alexa? I don't know, but I walked in there, nobody was in there. I told my dad, pretty sure there's a ghost and it likes to hang out in Sissy's room. So, whoops.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't decide if that's better or worse than what you've experienced in
I
other
think it's just the old woman
places.
who lived here, and so I'm fine with it. Nothing bad seems to be happening. It's a little inconvenient sometimes, but mostly it seems like she's just hanging out.
Yeah,
Sissy's room is the girliest, so.
maybe. And if she thought it was you in her room, maybe it's a girly ghost this
Yeah.
time around. Interesting. Interesting. Well, keep me posted on that. And my transition no longer works for today's drink, but today's drink's like the snow falling in my fun fact. Pairs well with a coconut fizz.
Today's
And the
episode.
reason, yes.
You said today's drink.
Today's drink pairs well with today's drink. Yes, it does. I am in between shifts, and Sierra has worked and done life today, so neither of us are people, as it turns out. If anything, in this first 15 minutes has demonstrated we normally can speak English. Don't make that fucking face. There are new people listening, okay? They need to know we can do better. But it pairs well with a coconut fizz mocktail or a margarita, and you'll have to hear the case to understand why. Right now, it just looks like Alecia wanted to drink a coconut margarita. So for today's drink, you will need, it yields 2 drinks. So make it for yourself and a friend. You will need half a can of full fat coconut milk, a quarter cup of fresh lime juice, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and top with half a liter of sparkling water. Slice limes for garnish and enjoy. However, I did not have fresh limes. I had just lime juice, so that's why I didn't garnish it. But I do have my bone straw.
I
And
also
if you
did
want to
not
make
have
this
fresh
a
limes.
margarita kind of style, you can blend those ingredients minus the sparkling water and then just use like a little bit in your cup just to give it like a little looseness. Because you know when you drink a frozen drink sometimes and you don't put enough liquid in it? I don't know. You guys do however you would like to do it. I shook mine over ice and didn't blend it, so and then I strained my ice out because ice is noisy. How did you do yours?
We decided to record this episode pretty last minute, and so I found out about the drink pretty last minute, and I do not live by a grocery store.
Yep.
So I went to the dollar store, and the only coconut milk type thing they had was a strawberries and cream coconut milk drink. So mine is strawberry flavored. I also could not find any sparkling water except flavored sparkling water, so I used strawberry flavored sparkling water. I still added lime to it, but it's like a strawberry lime type. It's good.
Yours
You know?
sounds way better than mine. The reason for this drink choice is very much related to the color. So
Yeah, mine is not colored that way.
that, and as we recorded, it is still technically summer. So nothing says summer like coconut.
Technical.
The other drink that came up that would have worked is actually a shot, and I will tell you about the shot at the end. So if you guys want to make it at a Halloween party or something coming up, you're more than welcome to, and it'll make more sense as to why. After I pre-order this Nick Jonas t-shirt.
Girl.
Wait, do you think that it's gonna be on the tour?
Probably,
do you think
yes.
they're gonna sell it on tour? Okay, then I'm
Yes.
just gonna buy it on Thursday. Welcome back. Imagine waking up in the early hours to the sound of rain. It seems like any other storm. That is, until you see globs of translucent, gelatinous slime spattering your roof, windows, and yard. It smells faintly strange. It's slippery to the touch. And by midday, you and dozens of your neighbors are feeling nauseous, dizzy, and even worse.
How have we never covered this before?
I don't know, but you know what I'm about to tell you about, right?
Exactly. I'm so
Okay.
excited.
Okay, I figured you would. I tried to bury the lead slightly. But this is not the plot of a horror movie, as it sounds. It was the reality for the residents of Oakville, Washington, in the summer of 1994. This small town got rained on, not by water, but by something scientists still can't fully explain, making it the perfect conspiracy. Oakville, Washington in 1994 had a population of less than 800. It's a small, unassuming town between forests and farmland, and it's about a 40-mile drive inland from the sea. The kind of place where you know your neighbors and everyone knows everything about each other. So naturally, when it rained strange goo, it became the talk of the town. On August 7th, heavy rain was reported, with some even reporting hail. But it didn't hail that day. When residents went outside to investigate, the ground was littered with clear jelly-like blobs. They were tiny, soft, squishy, and slightly slimy. Just never touch mystery globs that fall from the sky, as a word to the wise, but that's just my opinion. One of the first people to notice was a woman named Sunny Barcliffe. She lived in Oakville with her mom, Dottie Hearn, and when Dottie stepped outside barefoot, within a few minutes she started to feel dizzy, weak, and disoriented. Later that same day, Dottie collapsed in her home. She was rushed off to the hospital with severe vertigo and nausea, and she wasn't the only one. A police officer named David Lacey was on patrol that night, and he and his partner were driving when the rain began. He described it as such. We turned on our windshield wipers, and it just started smearing to the point that we almost couldn't see. And I said, "Geez, this isn't right." End quote. Yeah, no, it's not. Like, I imagined that it looked like Vaseline on the windshield when it was just, like, getting smeared around.
Yeah, that's yucky. However, I will say that lately I've been parking under a tree. I like to park under the trees because it makes my black leather seats not as hot when I get into the car at the end of the day or picking up my kids or whatever. But I have a property full of pecan trees. Pecan trees have a lot of sap. Didn't realize this. My car looks like it sparkles every day, just dotted with sap. I don't know how it gets on it in perfect little droplets, like literally just sprinkled with sap, but
Nature's
it is.
decorating your vehicle.
Yeah, and in the morning time when I am on my way to school and the sun is blaring directly into my windshield and I try to clear it, it's just like this. It looks probably like this, like globs. And I'm like, "Oh my God, please clear the windshield so I can see." It's dangerous.
It sounds dangerous, and it sounded dangerous for these two guys, but at least the sap seems worse in this instance, not because we don't know what sap is, but because sap is so fucking sticky. Another local named Beverly Roberts told Unsolved Mysteries everyone in the whole town came down with a like flu. Only it wasn't hard flu. It didn't last 7 days. It lasted 7 weeks, two or even 3 months for some people. End quote. People felt sick. Hundreds of animals died. One kitten that Sonny Barclift had recently adopted died suddenly. Beaches started turning up with hundreds of dead crabs in a not so normal way, not like seagulls had a feast kind of way, but like whole crabs. Livestock also died suddenly, and people found random dead animals on their walks. One family reported seeing like 100 dead frogs in one area, just flipped onto their backs. Sunny's mother, Dottie, suffered a relapse again a few weeks later as well. So residents started to become really afraid to go outside and didn't dare step outside their houses when it rained. Something was wrong in Oakville, and this mystery rain was the only clue. And I wish that I could say that this happened one time in Oakville. No, no, it happened 6 different times. And people naturally wanted evidence, so samples of the goo was collected for testing. Some were brought to the Washington State Department of Health, and others were analyzed by a microbiologist named Mike McDowell. He said that the blobs were very uniform, and it was no structure that we could see visibly under a microscope. When the samples were tested, it was reported that there were human white blood cells found in the substance. So let that sink in for a minute. The idea that something biological, something human, is possibly falling from the sky. But then
Yeah.
follow-up tests started to contradict this. The Washington Department of Ecology stepped in, and they said that their research found no nuclei in the cells, which meant that it couldn't be human or even any animal or fungus form on our planet having no nuclei. What was found were 2 types of bacteria, and I'm going to butcher both of these, and I don't want to hear it. Pseudomonas fluorescences and Enterbacter cloaca. These bacteria are common in water, soil, and even human intestines, but their presence didn't explain where these blobs came from and why people got sick.
I don't know if you're pronouncing this correctly, but I know that a cloaca is the
How do you
word
for the chicken hole?
for any bird hole, yeah, that poops and pees and delivers eggs from, and that weirds me out.
It's spelled Cloacae.
Oh, I don't think
Cloacae.
CAE. I would think it's a S at the end. Yeah,
Cloacae? Sure, we'll call
I
it.
don't know. I don't know, but just
We
the
don't want to
word
give
cloaca
birds a bad
grosses
name.
me out. Yeah,
Well, this is gross.
you're
Bacteria.
right. You're
So.
right.
And the final bit of strangeness in this report is that most of the samples disappeared. They were literally just gone. Not archived, not published, not revisited somewhere else. No official explanation has ever been given, which left me to wonder who wanted this finding hidden. So let's talk about theories, because that's where the science stops and where the speculating wildly begins. One of the first theories that residents and scientists tried to propose was that this was not rain, but bits of jellyfish, which is so gross.
Why? Tell me why would there be bits of jellyfish raining down?
The Pacific coast, like I said, is about 40 miles away from Oakville. In one hypothesis, the US military had been conducting naval exercises in the ocean, and they had blown up schools of jellyfish. Their proposal is that fragments were then carried by high altitude winds into the atmosphere and into the clouds, and then deposited inland as the clouds moved with the wind and became heavy enough to rain. This sounds kind of cinematic and probably unlikely. For one, jellyfish are multicellular creatures with complex structures, so this couldn't possibly have been bits of jellyfish. The blobs didn't have nuclei, remember? Also, wind patterns technically can carry marine life out of the water in severe enough storms, but carrying it 50 miles inland and on more than one occasion makes this a no for me.
Yeah, and also it's not like it was a big old like wave or even like a water spout or a hurricane that like kind of slapped it on, where if that happened, I would think that not only this town 50 miles away, but also everything between that town and the water in that 50 miles would have gotten it. This was just the town, right?
Yeah, so
Crazy.
all of it seems like a bit of a stretch to me. The second theory is that it was waste dumped from an airplane. Airplanes sometimes release what's known as blue ice, which is frozen chunks of waste from the airplane lavatories. But the problem is the stuff is actually blue, and it's extremely identifiable. The Oakville blobs were clear and didn't contain any typical chemical traces of aviation waste, or it would have come back in the reports. That and airplanes are required by law to be very precise in where they do these dumps, i.e., not over residential towns.
I could
So.
see an airplane dumping their waste over a residential town. And I could see the company who owned that airplane paying someone a lot of money to tell them in the future, don't tell anybody about this. Cover it up, say it was something else. We do not want this lawsuit. We do not want the bad press. We're never going to get airplane people flying on our airplane again. I don't see why it's not blue.
Yeah. So because this isn't blue, to me
Yeah.
it can't be airplane waste. But Sierra's right. People would pay big money to make that go away if it did
Yeah.
happen. The third theory was some sort of secret military experiment. Several locals, including Sonny Barcliffe, pointed out that there were frequent low-flying military planes seen in the area at the time of the incident. And some thought that Oakville might have been an accidental or possibly deliberate test site for a biological agent. It's a scary thought, but again, there's no real proof other than these just weird black planes flying around.
I don't imagine a biological agent test site would be something they would do in the middle of a town, just because I feel like if the wind blew the wrong way, it could go into a different town. But that doesn't mean I don't think it's not some other sort of experiment.
I mean, we've seen weird things coming up in secret military base areas. It's not completely unheard of. So to me, that theory is the most viable. But another theory that was proposed was star jelly. Star jelly is a term dating back centuries, with people reporting seeing mysterious blobs or slime appear on grass, fences, or trees, usually after meteor showers. Some think that it's like mold or algae or some sort of like mystery. Who knows? I honestly just think that this is an explanation for people centuries ago that had no idea what to describe new findings. So when weird things happened in the sky, they assumed everything just fell from the sky. That's my theory with that.
Yeah,
Because I've
I don't
never
know
heard of
what's
star jelly.
I also feel like as much as we say we know about space, you wouldn't be able to identify star jelly by then. Like, we had been to the moon, but you don't know what star jelly is? I think you made that up.
I think
The
so too.
theory, people.
That and it definitely made me think of Animal Crossing, because in Animal Crossing, when there's stars that fall in the sky, if you swipe your net at the same time that it happens on the beach, there will be little bits of star fragments that you can collect and use to make furniture. So that's fun.
But furniture is not made out of jelly.
Correct. The little fragments are really cute. They look like little baby stars, not
Yeah.
like jelly, but that's what that made
Right.
me think of. I was like,
It makes
oh,
me feel like I need to go to my little farmer's market with a new jelly I invented called Star Jelly. I might do it. I
oh
might
my
make
God.
Star Jelly,
People
guys.
people
What
would fucking buy
flavor
that.
should Star Jelly be? Let me know. Comment on this wherever you're listening to this. Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram,
What
Spotify.
would
You can comment right on
stars taste
Spotify.
like?
Well, but it's got to be good. What
Yeah.
fruit or maybe
You could use
vegetable?
dragon fruit. Dragon fruit's white.
Yeah, but that's
It's got
gross.
seeds in it though. I like dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit tastes like air. It's such an empty flavor. I hate it. It's so not
Isn't
even
dragon
gross. It's
fruit
just
really
like
tart?
I don't taste anything at all when I eat dragon fruit. Not a single flavor.
You
Like
think
like
mangoes
breath.
taste like armpits. So I
They
don't know if I
taste like
trust
armpit
your
smell.
I don't know if I trust your taste buds. I'm just saying. Ugh. And that's a wide casting net, Sierra. Armpits have a range of smells, unfortunately. So what happened to these samples that were collected? Where did the evidence of this event go? That's part of the mystery. They were sent to labs, some state labs, some independent microbiologists. Some of the samples were even photographed, as you can see on different TV shows that have featured this case. But then they just vanished. Nothing was ever published. No peer-reviewed journals out there exist about this. And some claim that the samples must have been lost in transit. But others suspect that the samples deliberately disappeared, and that's kind of where I land. In any case, with the blobs gone and the testing incomplete, the case drifted into urban legend territory. But it was very real for the Oakville residents that experienced it. The Oakville incident has never been fully explained, and the CDC never issued a report. Like I said, nothing out there exists other than news articles reporting on this event happening. To this day, it could remain one of the strangest unsolved mysteries in history, and it begs the question, could something like this happen again? In the years since this event, similar but not identical reports have popped up around the world of unidentified goo or jelly-like substances found in forests, on roofs, on benches. But the Oakville case stands out because it was so widespread, and it didn't happen to one or two people. It happened to an entire town 6 times over 3 weeks. And then people got sick, animals died, and no one can identify anything about it other than it's got white blood cells with no nucleus. Which to me, it feels like something alien. With today's technology, if this had happened, maybe we could get answers. But unfortunately, in 1994, Oakville didn't have those tools. So unless it happens again, we may never know for certain. But I would love to know what you guys all think. Were the Oakville blobs just a weird combination of environmental factors? Or was this some sort of alien bacterial slime? Was it man-made here on our Earth or somewhere else entirely? Let me know what you guys think. And Sierra, go off. What do you think?
Thanks.
She's
Okay.
like,
So there is not a single shred of doubt in my mind that the government slash Illuminati slash some sort of 1% person can control things that we don't realize they can control. And so my thought has always been that this was a experiment of some sort of weather control device that went horribly wrong. They did not have the recipe correct, and it rained globs instead of hail. Maybe they actually meant for it to hail. I mean, just because this was a little tiny town, not because they actually wanted to scare anybody in this area specifically, but they were just testing it out to see what was going to happen. It reminds me of a little bit, it reminds me of in Twister, the balls that they put into the barrel to put up into the, they're literally trying to control the clouds. And then it also a little bit reminds me of, those little paper packets that you put in like shoes or this or that has those little
Oh,
tiny
those, like,
beads in it.
silicone jellies?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that. Like the
Yeah.
government or the 1%, the Illuminati, whoever you want to say is the one controlling it. Somebody is, okay?
Somebody
Somebody
did
is.
this. Yeah.
Somebody messed up the fucking recipe and put this up into the clouds, cloud seeding, whatever. And it was the wrong recipe. And they tested it on this town and it made people sick. And they're like, shit, a little less of that ingredient, a little more of this one. Maybe they fucking used alien technology to do this.
What
I'm
is it? What's with the
also
cells,
sure.
though? What
Well,
is it with the no nucleus cells? That's gross to me.
I'm also very sure that the government or somebody up there, if there's aliens or whatever you want to say, this other higher thing is, they know about it. Maybe they were using their technology or whatever, technology that they found from aliens. And maybe that's where the cell things come from. But my actual thought on the cell thing is that, so it all rained down. It had some sort of poisonous whatever effect on everybody. And then it seeped into the water, into the groundwater, into the sewage, into the wells. And that's why I was taking notes earlier. That's why it happened multiple times, because it
And that's
evaporated
why
back up and rained
all
back
those
down.
water creatures died.
Exactly. That's why that lady, Sunny, had a relapse, is because it was in her drinking water. She drank it
So
and
she
was like, oh shit,
re-experienced.
it happened again. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And uh what else? Oh, the white blood cells, because when it mixed with wastewater, like the water treatment plants and stuff, some of it was cleaned, but not all of that stuff gets cleaned. That's why
True, and they
I
said that
have
bacteria is found in human intestines. So,
exactly the
alright, I see where you're
bacteria
going.
from waste. And eventually, over time, when they retested, they're like, wait, no, it doesn't have this. Why did we think that? Because eventually, over time, real rain fell down and like kind of diluted it. So it became less and less of this sticky substance and more water. It was water soluble and it kind of dissolved eventually, all spread out in water. I am positive that the government can, or somebody can, control the weather. Fuck them.
And somebody tried to cover all of this
Of
whoopsie-daisying
course,
up by
they don't want
making the
us to
samples
know.
disappear. Yep, yep.
They don't want us to know they can control the weather.
I wanna know who this
They
is. Who
use
is
that
they?
against us. I
Who is
I
this
I would
mysterious
like
they?
to say they is the government of the United States of America, because I feel like the United States of America has way more weather / natural disaster issues than anywhere else in the world. Like, we're fucking up. But I also don't
Do you think
think
it's on
any
purpose?
president
It's
we've
triggers?
ever had, I don't think any president we've ever had is smart enough.
No,
For
that's true.
one, to do it, for two, to keep it a secret. I think they're all fucking idiots. And so probably more likely the people
That's why they
who,
get rotated out so quickly.
exactly. I think the people who are the richest people in the world are doing it to America, because America is the biggest consumer of the world, and it's really easy to control our feelings this way. So, oh no, there's going to be a crazy storm. Everybody buy toilet paper. Oh no, there's going to be a, snowstorm. Everybody go buy sweaters, like, go buy the milk and the bread, go buy the this and the that and the, yeah, I think they scare us with their money and we don't even realize it.
You could really
Fuck those
even loop
guys.
COVID into that if you really
Exactly.
wanted to.
You could.
Yeah, that's scary though.
I think
And
America is
if
the biggest
anyone
puppets on the planet,
yeah,
unfortunately. If I had the money
unfortunately,
to
it's
move to a
right.
different country, I would. I really would.
But yeah, I just thought this was super weird when I saw it originally on Unsolved Mysteries years ago.
Yeah.
And then I forgot about the Files of the Unexplained on Netflix, and they had the
Mm.
Pascagoula episode that I watched on there. So I was like, oh, let's just pick up where I left off. And the next episode was about the Oakville blobs. So naturally, I had to cover it
Yeah.
because I
It
couldn't just let it
drives
go.
me crazy every time I've ever heard or seen it covered. Granted, this was, years ago. This wasn't recent, but every time I've ever heard and seen it, people bring up cloud seeding as a possibility, and they're like, no, it's not that. Do you guys realize how much of a possibility that actually is? Like in 2025, knowing all that we know, it is so much more of a possibility than anyone ever thought before. Same for aliens. People used to be like, oh no, those don't exist. Yes, they literally do. Okay. Things that were once considered conspiracy are being proven left and right, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, the government did admit after however many years of trying to gaslight us that aliens exist and that they had hid all of that footage. So who
Mm.
knows? I agree. Well, it's like that. Where did it happen? Speaking of like Bali area, didn't somewhere in Indonesia get that like blood rain?
Yeah. But it had a
But it was
very
red algae
explainable
that was in
right.
it, which
Yeah.
is what the biological matter of it is. But maybe like all of our rain, because it's pulled from our atmosphere, has like some biological matter to a
Yeah.
degree, like algae and spores and everything else that lives in water naturally.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, I can't decide what's worse, globs of goo that make you sick or blood rain. Don't know
Well, when
what's more
I was
terrifying.
in Bahrain, it was so dusty over there that it rained brown all the time. Like a
Mm.
reddish brown, like terracotta color. Always. That's just what the rain looked like. So if I saw red rain in a place where there was like desert-ish area nearby, it would not scare me at all. That's just what it looks like over there.
Look at you, smarty pants. When I Googled it, it happened in India. Sorry, not Indonesia. I was mistaken. But it was because of red dust, sand, and the algae spores being lifted in by strong winds into and mixed in with the precipitation in our skies. So that makes sense.
Yeah,
Well,
makes sense.
let us know your theories, guys, as always, and don't touch mystery globby rain. Let this be a lesson.
I
Don't
would
go
probably
outside
still
with
touch
your.
it.
Would you
I would
really?
probably touch it.
Ugh, you're so much
I
braver than I
I
am.
just feel like nature wouldn't hurt you. But then, all of the
So that
theories,
is what
it's
makes
probably
me. Yeah,
not nature.
this is not
Yeah.
nature. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also like really gross. If you would like to watch a recent coverage of it, I would really recommend the linked files of the unexplained episode in my resources. And then you guys can see what I mean by it looking like it's almost moving sitting there on the table. It looks freaky for sure. So my natural instinct would not be to touch it, but that's just me. Before we roll on out of here, Sierra, do you have anything you want to share with the class other than your house is haunted?
My house is haunted. Let me think. Fun things to share. Um, 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 um,
This comes out the
hmm.
day after your birthday. Are you doing anything for your birthday?
I don't think so. Everybody, not the previous weekend of this airing, I don't know for sure. So we're trying to do something on Saturday. But everybody seems to be busy, and so we can't all decide on something. So it might just be a dinner. Um, but I'm not sure yet. We'll find out. I don't. I can't think of anything. Oh, other than I successfully I can't think of the word, cured my two pimples that I had over this past weekend. Okay. I know I should already be able to do this because I am a fucking licensed esthetician. But I was super excited to find
Sometimes
new,
skin is trial and error, though,
yeah,
for
I was
sure.
excited to find new things that work for me anyway. And that was um sunshine, like lots of sunshine, salt water, um face dry brushing, and calendula oil. That's what worked for me. It's great. I was super excited.
When you say salt water, you mean putting, like, being in
Literally
the ocean?
the ocean, yes.
Okay, I was like, are you putting salt water on your face?
Well,
Because
yes,
I always find
but
that my
from the ocean.
hair, my skin, and my body feel the best being in the sunshine by the water. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Salt is healing. No one
It
can tell
is.
me otherwise.
The
And so
water
is
is
vitamin
healing.
D.
Yeah, all of it. Nature
All
is
of it is
healing,
healing.
people.
Yeah, the right nature, not the science
Yeah, not the ones that
derived
the
version.
government fucked with.
Not the conspiracy we're talking about today. Well, my something exciting is that I am going to the Jonas Brothers in 2 days, and I know I wish you were coming with me more than anything. You will be there in spirit. I will video call you when Boys Like Girls come on, so you
Yeah.
can watch it with me.
That's what I need right there.
I don't know what you're doing Thursday night, but just everybody pause. Hold on.
I'll be at a football game, so
Aw, well, you'll be there with me in spirit. I'll be sure to send you some videos. I'm super excited for that. Hopefully, I can get this red dress T-shirt there because that would make my whole day better. But otherwise, I might have to go Sierra's route and make it myself. In the meantime, I'm off to work round 2. If you did not already, go leave us a 5-star rating and review as a big happy birthday to Sierra, and go wish her a happy birthday.
And Alecia,
If you
birthday's in 2
have
days.
not yet. Well, yeah, that's true. Wish both. Leave us both reviews for our birthdays. Thank you. That's what we want.
Thank you.
And we will see you next week for Sierra's episode.
I don't know yet.
Topic to be determined. And in the meantime,
Keep it
twisted.
twisted.
Twisted and Uncorked is hosted and produced by Sierra Zorn and Alecia Watson. If you like the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening now. It really is the best way to spread the word. You can check out all things Twisted on our website, twistedanduncorked.com, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode.